Hi, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really grateful that you've given up your time to share with the world about your experience with silent counselling. I really enjoyed reading your detailed testimonial form. It was incredibly inspiring, and I'm going to talk a little bit about those as we go through um, this little recording. So, just thinking about before you even came to me, before you even knew me, how were you sort of feeling emotionally, mentally, physically, or what were you sort of struggling with before you found me?
Well, I think it's important to recognize that I've only known you for less than 2 months. Yet it feels like you've been a part of my life for years, decades. Before I even knew silent counseling even existed, and I would argue 2 months ago, even 8 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I felt emotionally drained, mentally frozen, financially blocking my own way. Everything in my mind was getting to me. Problems were growing arms and legs and then multiplying and growing more and more. And it was really, really, really hard to kind of even seek out the right kind of counselling, even seek out the right kind of help. Um, a bit strange. Obviously, men don't usually talk about any sort of struggles, but it's something that I try and advocate for, that obviously Andy's Men Club, and you've got all the other places coming up now, that it is important for men just to speak out. But somewhat weirdly, I've always tried to seek help and nothing's really worked. Um uh yeah, it's awkward because there's a labeling culture in the health and well-being world, that if you're struggling, that's okay, you can struggle, but we're just going to pop a label on it and give you some medication and yep, thank you very much, off you go, let us know if anything gets worse. Or you have to talk about it and you have to just relive that pain.
Mm.
You just have to constantly relive the pain, relive the agony, relive the emotion, and then they send you away again, and that's the end of your sessions. So nothing actually ever gets sorted, nothing actually ever gets to the bottom of what's caused all of those issues. And I think during our short time of knowing each other, and the sessions themselves, we've we've uncovered, and I can't remember what the hell they are, but we've uncovered things that I had no idea. And one of the things was from 30 years ago, or a true event was 30 years ago when I was 1 years old. I wouldn't
Mm.
have remembered that. I had no idea. And yeah, so if I'm honest, I can remember because I've got transcripts, I've got texts, I've got people that will tell me you were in a totally different place 2 months ago. I can't remember what it feels like because it can't remember what's not there anymore. And yeah, it's just so weird because during our sessions as well, and I was quite honest with you by session three, I am trying in my head, you were asking me a question, but I was asking myself the opposite question to try and disprove this. And you laughed, just like you've just done now. You laughed and you went, but you can't disprove it. It works. And even now, I've just made a decision in my business and my organization. I didn't ask anyone. I asked my gut. I asked my energy, myself. I asked myself internally, and I asked for the yes and the no. And it's hit the ground. It's really, really, really kind of innovative with people. It's landed with them. People are taking part. I managed to find a 75% off discount code for a bit of software that I need. So obviously being Scottish and getting something pretty much for next to the cost of nothing is brilliant. But as well, I've already referred two of the closest people in my life to you, and both of them are a different person after just one session.
It's really beautiful to hear. I'm so grateful that you obviously the referrals are fantastic, but the fact that you did that off the back of your own 3 sessions and it literally was just 3 sessions.
Yeah,
I know you mentioned uh, sort of you don't remember it because it's no longer tangible in your body. Once it's gone from your body, your memories of it fade. It's gone. It's almost like you can't pick it out of your memory anymore because it doesn't have any
yeah,
significance on your current way of being. And I know in the testimonial that you sent along, you mentioned about what you were experiencing wasn't physical pain at the time, but it had become physical.
yeah.
What did you mean by that?
So one of the things that I realized is, and I have realized that crippling mental health can manifest itself into physical kind of ailments. And I think whatever it was, um, and the reason you can't, and it really struggled with me after the first session because, and I can remember messaging you back and forth and sending a little voice note here and there. As a logically minded person, I'm trying to attribute logic so I can, right, okay, that happened, then that led to that, now it's all dealt with and it's put in a box. And what this very, very quickly told me was, that's okay that you don't know what it is. Just leave it. Don't try and find reasons for it. And I think that's what I meant by physical pain, because I was holding on to, as I've just said, something from 30 years ago that I didn't even know was there. I've been holding on to that. And ironically, when I have done traditional kind of therapies, your cognitive behavioral therapy, your dialectical behavioral therapy, and multiple different types of medication, it was interesting that my sort of coping mechanisms and things that I had been taught these work, which they don't, they just don't. They're just holding patterns. That is all they are. They're manifested and sold to you as coping mechanisms. They're not. They are just holding patterns. You've had your label, you've had your diagnosis, you stay there, keep in your box. We're not we're not dealing with deep-rooted resolution. We in this country, I imagine you will be global, let's be honest. In this country, we have got a real problem with mental health, and the problem is not the NHS, it's how we're approaching it. So that thing, whatever it was, from my first birthday, was suffocating me. And ironically, from the coping mechanisms, the way I've always visualized it is it's like a color going through my veins. And I shared this with you, and I'm happy to share this publicly as well. That color then was blue. Now, blue is normally what people might assume is a calming color, but actually, people go blue if they're losing oxygen. So, cyanosis, whatever that was suffocating me. And that is where it attributes to the physical pain. I was holding on to things and I was suffering chronic migraines. Of course, the doctors say, no, that's fine, just take these tablets and go away. That is what the system is geared to do. Medicate, not fix the root cause. The system, I would argue, is broken. I think a lot of people might agree with that, but there's no alternative. This is your alternative. If you are struggling with something and you don't know what it is and you don't want to talk about it, and you've sought everyone, including the doctor's receptionist, who clearly is more qualified than the GP anyway, if you are struggling, this is the only alternative and it will work. I tried to disprove it. It works. And obviously I've put my closest people in my life forward for their own sessions. And yesterday they both actually had their first session. And I was with a friend of mine. We were working together, and one of the people phoned, and it was a different person. And I've been with that person for 10 years, and it was a different person. To the effect that actually the friend that I was working with said, "Who's that on the phone?" Neither of us recognized.
That's remarkable. That's
Neither of us
absolutely
recognized
remarkable.
this person, and the other person is a very, very my best friend. She she's always been a people pleaser. She always puts herself first. Um, she decided after her session, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that. She then walked round to her car, saw the neighbour, and the neighbour said, I'll come with you. She went, no, you're not.
My goodness.
And I'm like, oh my God. And in I was speaking to that person on the drive home, and I was crying. It really hit me
Oh,
emotionally. It really, really did.
yeah.
And the person was like, Caroline says, don't wipe them away. Just let them flow. Let them flow. Don't wipe it away. And I'm like, it's not that emotion.
Yeah.
This person's been struggling for 56 years
Oh my gosh.
and longer
Oh my gosh. You
because
see.
empaths and people pleasers like to
Uh-huh.
absorb other people's pain to make them feel better.
Yeah.
It amplifies your own. It really amplifies your own. That individual's been struggling for multiple lifetimes and actually refused to go to traditional therapy because it was too painful physically.
Mhm.
Yet yesterday, after 1 hour with you, 1 hour, she's never met you, 1 hour
Yeah.
together, me referring her to you through my experience and you doing this spooky stuff that you do, and it is spooky. Um, we've taken 20 years off her face. It is a physical pain, but it's a physical visual as well. She came and saw me. She looks 20 years younger. She looks 20 years younger.
So it's remarkable. It's remarkable because, like you said, we hold and we store all that energy, emotion, that visceral pain then starts to come through in contortion of even our faces, our jawline, the way we stand, our posture, um, the inflammation in our bodies. It is all linked to the disease. You are absolutely spot on. And what I found really wonderful about that is I am a silent counselor. I don't know people's backstories. People come to me and don't speak. I do not have the history and the information, the richness of the people's stories before and after, like you do, like you've witnessed in yourself and those two people. And you can see such dramatic transformation in, like you said, the just 1 hour. And it would be really lovely to be able to know all the people that I've worked with, what their story was before and after, because it is highly, highly transformational in just one hour of your time. I mean, when you talked about, for example, you tried traditional therapies, what did it feel like to be in a silent counseling session compared to a traditional therapy session, or was there any sort of moments during the session that you just had an aha moment? This is it.
I would say that traditional approaches are systematic. There is no flow. It's theory and tested. Granted, yep, there's very intelligent people that work in therapy and rehabilitation and things like that, but it's very methodical. Um, Silent counseling doesn't have to be methodical. And I think I only shared with you one that that I could actually pinpoint what it was because I could recognize it after, but then I couldn't remember and I couldn't attribute the same pain. And I think that was the one that we had to keep going back and back. And I can remember that session. It was really, really physically painful to get rid of. That was just how deep rooted it was. But I told you afterwards. And the difference with silent therapy is I felt, regardless if it's online, in person, I didn't need to speak if I didn't want to. And you don't need to. And I think that that knowledge of knowing I don't have to made it so much easier to get to the problem. Even though I still maintain there was no issue, there obviously was. I tried to disprove it, it doesn't work. I now do everything using that same methodology, but that's the non-methodological approach of silent counselling. It doesn't have to follow a certain path. It can it can go up and down, but ultimately it's there where it is, and that safety blanket of you don't need to say anything if you don't want to. That is so powerful, especially for males that struggle with, I would argue, a very toxic masculinity approach. Men don't cry. Men men just get on with it. They suck it up, buttercup, get on with the day. Andy's Man's Club's been a massive success across the UK for a reason. But there's still so many men out there that just don't think therapy's for them. And both of the individuals that I'm referring to don't talk. Yet from my discussions with both of them, I think it was a hard, difficult thing for you to get them to shut up most of the time, which quite interesting because neither of them talk. They bottle it
Yeah.
up. Um, but this is why this is brilliant and this needs to be shared. And one of the reasons for me coming on and doing this for you today was to show that this is it's it's strange because I work in the recruitment industry, so I know psychologically that women will not apply for a role if they don't hit 80-90% of the requirements. Men will apply for any role providing they like one word in it. And therapy and self-help and well-being is often seen as a very feminine thing.
Mhm.
But we've all got minds, we've all got health, we've all got well-being. Men don't go for it for that, so it's the opposite of my world. And it's very important that men need to recognize that you don't need to talk. It's not feminine. It's looking after yourself, and it's different.
Yeah, for
It's
sure. I mean, how different did you feel after, like straight after the session, or straight after doing the procedures that we do during the session? Because sometimes it's not, you don't even get to the end of the session, do you? You get to the last bit of the release and you go, wow. So what's been different since then, or what did you feel straight away?
I was immediately lighter. I was immediately warmer. Nothing to do with this heat wave that we've got in Scotland just now. I was like the blue visual that I genuinely get had changed to an orange, had changed to a purple or a yellow, um, which, having looked it up, I believe orange is creativity and relationships, purple is wealth, and I can't remember yellow because I now through
Confidence, which you've got bags of now.
well, I genuinely forget because I don't need to attribute that logic anymore. That part of me's gone as well. I recognize that's okay. It's there. Okay, fine. Do I get annoyed that the post box is at the bottom of the road or at the top of the road? No, because I can't control it. I don't need to attach logic to what's not there anymore. And I just trust myself a lot more.
Yeah, your intuition is plays a big part of it, because once you're free of the emotions, the energy, the patterns that have been coded in from, nurtured in within you from society, from parents, from schools, from peer groups, and you feel fully sovereign in your being, you can start to trust yourself. And that is a big one, I think, for a lot of people, because trusting themselves and having that gut instinct, we're taught to push it down so many times,
Yeah,
right from being very little children, and having the ability to then go with what you're getting or what you think is the right thing to do. That's where your transformations start to happen. That's where you start to then really start to bring in and be able to do things like you're manifesting, to get rid of your money blocks, to bring in high vibrational beings into your life to support you, that are there to champion and cheerlead you. And I'm sure you see that in your company, in your work, in everyday life now.
yeah. I would say that it's society that it's the education system, it's the government, it's parents, it's grandparents, it's old generation versus new generation. It's not AI because it's not in its true form as everyone thinks it is, but it's social media, it's societal norms. They tell us this is the right way to go and this is how you need to behave. No, I don't. I have my own journey. I don't judge anyone else because I've never taken a step in anyone else's shoes, but they can't judge me either. So I trust myself and I am planning my own path. And just immediately after the session to highlight a specific point, I have developed two key frameworks for my company now that have hit the ground and are absolutely incredible and exactly what people are raving about. That's a that's an instant change because I was blocked in my own way. That's an instant change. So there wasn't just the physiological feelings as well. My it was like it was like my mind and everything about me, how I think, prefrontal cortex, hypothalamus, all of these different areas of the brains that I've got, a different area of the brain, sorry, that have got their own function and keep you breathing, keep you standing up, know when to take your head out of the water so that you don't drown, stop you walking in front of a car because that's a learned behavior. So all these societal habitual norms have a reason, but then they become unhealthy. And it's because we're taught not to trust ourselves. We're taught not to challenge the status quo. And I think one of the best things from the Scottish independence referendum that went massive, it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. It doesn't need to be the devil. Try something new. What's the harm?
Yeah, absolutely. So just thinking about sort of those people, you kind of touched on this already, but what would you say to someone who has literally tried everything and is just thinking maybe this would help, but I am not sure? Or who do you think it would be best for?
What's the harm? If you've tried everything already, what's the harm? This one, you don't even need to talk about it. This one will make you feel better instantly. This one, it's called silent counselling. It's not. It is, but it's silent. It can be silent because you don't need to say anything. You can talk if you want. And obviously, we've got now mutual friends. I don't know anything about their sessions. I know they don't know anything about mine. The people I've introduced, the closest people in my life, don't know anything about their sessions. They're at will to tell me if they want, but it's part of the resolution silent as well. You just know it's gone. You don't need to think about it. You can't think about it because it's not there anymore. But the ideal people that this would help are men that think they've got it all sorted. It's okay to not be okay. That's absolutely permissible, and no one's telling you that's not allowed. You're telling yourself that's not allowed because you're trying to fit in with what is expected. And see, I'm happy to do this because I've now got the confidence. I've now got the lack of self-doubt that I thought I had. I'm out of my own way, so I'm comfortable doing this now. And I imagine there are loads of men that might watch this and say, nah, it's not for me, nah, it doesn't really trust it. One session has completely changed my world, and it wasn't even my session. That is absolutely something. Apologies, Margarets who are watching this that are a GP's receptionist, but any Margarets that are GP's receptionists, they're not going to be able to help you with this. I refer to the closest people in my life. They had a session each. They've got more to come. That changed my life yesterday and today, and it wasn't even my session. That kindness of giving them an opportunity to try something that both of them would refuse counselling and normal traditional therapies, they just refuse to talk about it. They don't even phone like the Samaritans or anything like that. No, just bottle it all up. Their change shifted my life, shifted my world. Wasn't my session. So if you are watching this and you're thinking, I am a people pleaser, I am an empath, I want to help everyone else, please, please help yourself first. You don't even know what it is. Help yourself first, because that bit in you that you get rid of will help magnetize everyone around you and improve them. Once you've experienced it, how long have we got up in your diary now? Are we in November time now? We're waiting for things.
I'm looking for cancellation spaces.
Yeah. Well, no one's going to cancel. So I think our mutual friend and I think we've got our own diary that we fill up for
Yeah.
you and then just pass it over to you. There's no development or representation for you anymore. Once you try this, and you might be watching this thinking there's nothing wrong. I'm fine.
Yeah.
What's the harm? What is the harm? You might be fixing something in yourself that helps everybody else around you. So don't think it's not for me. Think, what can I do for myself that'll help them?
I mean, it's just like owning some really lovely silverware, keeping it in
Yeah,
the box and just but you're gonna give it a polish every now and again, make sure it stays good. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's just give it a polish. Silent counselling is a little bit the polish on the outside. You're all good, but everyone could do with a bit of a buffer every now and again for sure.
And everyone could do with a bit of a boost.
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush. We are in July 2025. The economy is an absolute chaos. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone who's making a financial decision has never done a financial course in their life. It's just bizarre. Politicians, everyone doesn't want to talk about politics. I personally love it because I don't trust any of them. You can always see when a politician's lying, their lips are moving. Um, one country or another hasn't got it right. No one's
Yeah,
perfect. So if you're watching this and you think, no, there's nothing wrong, why not just give yourself a confidence boost then? It's more than that, and you'll see that when you book in February
absolutely.
2027.
So, just to summarize, then, you have just been amazing, just sharing your story. I'm so grateful. I don't even think you're going to be able to manage this, if I'm honest, but can you describe in one sentence? And that sentence can have as many commas as you need, Craig. Can you describe in one sentence what silent counseling has done for you?
It's changed my life.
Short and sweet.
It's changed my life.
It's catchy. It might catch on that.
It does need to be a hashtag, but yeah, it is difficult to put it into words how it does. I'm getting a bit of a frog in my throat as well. Apologies. Um, Again, men watching this will be like, nah, macho, macho, don't need to show emotions. It's not about that. It's just not about that at all. It's it's different. It if you think there's nothing wrong, then you've nothing to lose by trying it. It will change something. And if it changes that one thing that you didn't even know was a thing,
Yes,
what's the
yes.
harm? What is the
Absolutely.
harm? I it's just really bad because I haven't won the lottery yet. Otherwise you would be busier. Um,
Oh,
it's difficult to quantify and help people understand that just do something for you and just it's
I
unbelievable.
can I completely agree with you. And even though I'm backtracking a little bit, but even when you mention things like it has a knock-on effect on the people around you, can you imagine being a CEO of an organization and then putting in silent counseling for your well-being of your employees? Can you imagine how different your company would be?
So you didn't know that, but that is something that we are rolling out the ideation of within my company. We are recruitment. We don't like recruitment. It's hiring, it's consulting. That is something that we are proposing to our clients. Get rid of your employee welfare scheme. It's a catchphrase, it's a line, it's a requirement. Give every single one of your employees 1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour. Not only will they change, your business Well, Elon hasn't built anything that can go that far yet. He hasn't. It's out of this. It's out of this universe. You've got
It's
no
going to be incredible.
idea, no idea the amount of change that's going to have for someone. This is, and I wrote this in the feedback form for you. This is the Rolls Royce of health and well-being, self-care. This is,
Yeah.
and I don't like cars, so I don't know where that came from. I hope Rolls Royce is a good one. I mean, I think my other
Not
half,
too shabby. I
but
wouldn't say no to one. I wouldn't say no to one. They're not too shabby, are they? Thank you, Craig. Thank you. Silent Counselling changed my life, Craig. I appreciate you. It's been wonderful to get to know you over 3 sessions and the in-between sessions.
yeah,
And long may that journey continue. And you know where I am if you find somebody else who needs me.
yes, I do
Thank
indeed,
you.
Caroline. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Thanks, bye.